Okay, hey, we're back. So we've got our game working so that the garbage can is collecting the trash. That works well. It's scoring the trash and it's not scoring anything else. What we want to do now is add some audio feedback. So how do we add sounds? So this is a twofold problem that's actually not too hard to solve. So let's go back into Unity. You can probably guess where the sound's going to come from. Well, we could make up our own, or we could go to the asset store. And the asset store is going to have free sound effects information. And if we go with an 8-bit type sound, kind of like classic Nintendo or Atari, we thought 8-bit elements. This looks pretty good. What else do we have here? The 8-bit sound pack, that looks pretty good. 8-bit, oh, that costs money. Well, let's take a look at 8-bit monster. Let's take a look here. This one's free. Let's see what it says about the sound files it has. So it has, is it just monster sounds? It looks like it is just monster sounds. So that's not going to work for us. Another way we can search in the asset store is we can just go into audio, go into sound effects, and we can go to price. And we can go by, all right, so we've got free, 8-bit free, 8-bit retro rampage. 64 people liked that. Let's take a look at this one. So it's got a bunch of different sounds. Looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and import these sounds. Again, it's going to take it a few minutes. It's going to import it right into our game. It's giving us all these choices of footsteps and user interface and guns and yay. All right, so let's import them all. This is going to create a small problem for us later because we're going to have all of these audio files in our project. So we'll probably want to delete them down the road. But for right now, this is an excellent start. And we'll pick out a couple sounds that we like. We're looking for a sound so that when something good goes into our hat, it gives us a good sound, and when something bad goes in, it gives us a bad sound. And then once we've identified the sounds we want to use, we'll figure out how to code those sounds. So here we go. Here are our retro assets, and let's take a look at the user interface. Let's see if we got a good error sound. It's loading it up on iTunes, is what premieres the sound for me. Might be something different on yours. Oh, we could premiere it right over here on Unity. Great. So let's take, that sounds fine as an error sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my project, my assets. For right now, I'm going to just go to assets, create a new folder. I'm going to call it audio, to make it easier to find things that I like. I'm going to go to my retro rampage, go into my error, click on my error, and let's preview the sound. That sounds fine. So I'm going to drag that into my audio. And now we're going to look for something that sounds good. Nah, that doesn't sound like what I want to do. Nah. No. Let's try this one. Oh, that sounds good. Let's try this one. I like this one better. So let's drag that into our audio. So now our audio has an error sound. Okay. And it has a score tally sound. That sounds good. We don't need iTunes for this. Put that aside for now. Perfect. So we've got our sounds. So now the question is, how do we program those sounds to get them to work properly? And I didn't know how to do this at first either. It's not part of the original game, but it is part of the concept of Frankensteining. So all we are going to do is we're going to run a quick search. So we're going to add sound effects in Unity. Let's see what we come up with. sound effects and scripting. So there's a tutorial on this, and we could listen to it, but we're not going to listen to it right now. So we see here we've got some references. We're going to copy those. Actually, we might not need those. We've got some public and private sounds. Let's grab audio clip shoot sound. Let's copy that and let's paste it. We're going to go over here. Let's just drop that in. So that's a reference to an audio clip that it's going to want. Let's go to we want all of these, it looks like, so let's copy those. Paste those in. I'll make a little note to myself. Okay, so far so good. Looks fine. So we've got awake, get an audio source. Again, that seems fine. So we add our awake before our start, because awake happens first. Everything seems so far not so bad. And then we have play our sound here. Okay. Let's go back into mono develop. So if something good happens, we'll play sound over here. If something bad happens, we'll play sound over here. That sounds fine so far. And so the shoot sound is the sound that's being produced. So we probably want that to be our catch. Maybe we call it a match catch. And then we'll probably want an audio clip for a mismatch catch. So something we shouldn't have caught. And so we're going to have to upload those. So we're going to do match catch. That's fine. We're going to do mismatch catch here. Mismatch catch. That's good. I like that. Okay. And so it wants this component audio source, and it's going to need a game object that we're going to tie this to. So does it already have a game object? It doesn't. So let's add that reference as well. Let's go back up to the top. It wants a... No, this should be okay because it's going to refer back to the trash can, which means the trash can is going to need to have an audio source. So let's save this. And we're going to get some errors. We expect to get some errors because our two audio files are not filled, and it's going to want an audio source component. So let's go over to our trash can, which in this case is still called a hat. So let's go over there. And we've got, let's go to our score. And you see our score now has a room for these references here, which is fine. And we're going to add a component. We're going to add the audio source component. Perfect, that's fine. Okay. And now we're going to go into our miscatch. Score tally is the match. Error is the mismatch. That looks good. Okay. Let's see here. Let's just play it, see what happens. No errors, start. Oh, good sound. Good sound, bad sound, good sound. Good. Bad. bad, good. So it's working perfectly. So we've added some audio to give the user some feedback on whether the sound is good or bad, and that seems to be working perfectly. So we're going to take a break, and the next thing we're going to do is we are going to change the background and the splash screen so that it looks more like what we want the game to be.